May God bless you deeply with an inflowing of His love into your soul. My beloved friends, I am Jesus. I come once again to speak of the truths of the spirit, the soul, and the mind, and how with the alignment of these aspects of consciousness, there may be openings and revelations that will guide the individual forth in their life pursuits. Today I wish to speak of the impediments of the mind regarding its relationship with the spirit realms. The great majority of individuals in your earthly plane are unsure of the existence of the spirit world. They cannot truly decide whether these things exist because they are utilizing the material aspects of their minds to make these deductions. Unfortunately, the material mind is incapable of such perceptions when it is engaged so fully within the material world and the material concerns of your world. The five senses do not constitute an ability to understand that which is of a different dimension and reality than that of the material world. Thus, to see, feel, hear, and understand the existence of those who have at one time lived in a material body but now exist in a spirit body are not perceivable because the individual lacks the finer senses which are within each individual, and of which I have discussed in previous messages. There is a need for a shift of consciousness for these deep questions and curiosities to be answered by the individual's experience and perception of that, which is of the spirit rather than the material. They cannot grasp its existence because of the limited faculties of the mind engaged in such a way that there are few opportunities for rapport and communication from spirits that is of a conscious nature. Yet, this world of yours is destined to have this reality close so that many of you on the earthly plane may communicate readily with those who are in the spirit body. There are certainly those who are aware of spirit, some who can communicate with spirit readily, and speak of these experiences with their brothers and sisters. There are a number of mediums and psychics and those who have had what you call near-death experiences who have readily communicated with the spirit world, and some may do so on a daily basis. Unfortunately, these individuals are few and far between and are not afforded a great deal of credibility in the minds of those who are of the material sensibilities and perceptions in this life upon your planet. They are considered a novelty, a source of entertainment. They have a place that does not afford them the possibility of presenting to the world proof of the existence of the spirit world and the continuance of life. It is because the material mind cannot perceive beyond that which is material. Yet, as I have spoken of, there are other minds within the individual which are quite capable of this form of communication and perception. It merely requires some focus and dedication towards developing these capacities and abilities, gifts if you will, so that they may communicate. Each individual has this capacity and can communicate with spirits if they so desire and if they apply themselves in such a way that these gifts are opened and function within the individual. Each individual has, to some degree, a measure of and a sense of communication with spirits within their daily lives. Though this sensibility may be very vague and subtle, it exists for each individual in the material world, for they are influenced by spirits and guardian angels who are close to that individual because of the functioning of the laws of communication and rapport. For many, there are a number of deceased relatives and family members who are still engaged in close contact and to some degree, communication with their loved ones. This is a very common connection shared because of the love bond between an individual and their mate, their children, their parents, grandparents, etc. Yet, because of their focus on the material mind and world, these more subtle communications and connections with discarnate souls are not readily accomplished or known by the individual. So, the mystery continues for many. They do not see readily proof of the existence of the spirit world. Their desire to communicate is not often fulfilled, except with the possibility of communicating through an intermediary, a medium, one who is gifted in spirit communication. Even in this situation, there is a measure of skepticism and doubt that such communication is valid and real. The individual is inclined to test the waters, so to speak, and find for themselves some valid experience to assure the mind that these aspects of life are real and true. For those who are very much engaged in the material reality, their mind insists that this reality is the only reality, and that upon the demise of the individual, there is nothing. Such existential thinking steers the individual down a road where there is no true commitment to spiritual life, for they feel that it will not bring them any great reward, certainly not the reward of life in those spirit realms of light. To these intellectuals, a belief in such a thing is a fantasy and there is no need to engage in it. Yet, life in the material world is a brief time of existence. I would ask the question, why would God create something as magnificent as a human being and have its light flicker momentarily in the material universe and then be lost forever? Of course, with this question, comes many questions. To consider the purpose of life is to consider many elements of what life is. In order to bring meaning to these elements, the individual must come to some mindful conclusions regarding a life lived upon the material plane. Because there are no definitive answers to these questions that the mind will accept, the individual readily puts aside these questions and continues in a life that is often superficial in nature and lacks deeper meaning. Thus, many believe that what they are experiencing in a material sense gives the only meaning available to their minds. This form of reasoning and the trajectory of human thought and philosophy has led humanity down a road that often precludes the idea of spirit existence and that they themselves are a spirit encased in a fleshy body. These ideas are relegated to religious philosophy, and that, in your secular world, is frowned upon. The nature of the human mind as it has developed thus far is to insist upon concrete and irrefutable evidence of the existence of any aspect of material life. Many souls have dedicated their lives to establishing this framework of truth and identity. This has brought humanity far into the realms of materialism and the material functioning of the universe. The majority of humanity continues to seek out and validate the mechanics of a material world and ignore anything that is not of this nature and quality. Thus, the human heart, the feeling nature of humanity, is often neglected, so that love is not a predominant expression and aspect of human life. Rather, it is an adoration of the human body, of the accumulation of material things, and the aesthetics of a life filled with material vitality and abundance. Such messages are given to you on a daily basis, multiple times in a day, thereby reinforcing so much that is of the material consciousness, continuing to limit the individual's capacity for perception and recognition of those things of a subtler nature. Thus, the individual's capacity to see beyond the strictures of materialism requires a great deal of struggle and focus in order to move beyond this type of consciousness, shifting towards something that is of a wider and deeper expression of human ability. Until humanity has gone beyond its fascination with the material world and has come to see that there is a greater purpose and destiny for each individual than that of merely a material existence, then humanity is destined to live a life that lacks many vital elements for happiness. Distraction is not true happiness, for distraction brings a fleeting form of happiness. Because of the nature of the life that humanity has created for itself, this fleeting condition is often overshadowed by situations that bring pain, distress, worry and fear. How can an individual be truly happy if they have not come to know those many wonderful aspects of themselves, their spirit and their souls, that are mostly ignored and undeveloped? This immaturity within humanity is destined to be transformed into deeper knowledge and understanding of who and what they are. With present attitudes, perceptions, and cultures that humanity has created upon the world, projecting so much that is of the material mind, the world continues to suffer and is in deep need of balancing and healing. When humanity refuses to look beyond that which is of the mind's reckonings and projections, then there is great ignorance and a great propensity toward darkness and disharmony with God's laws. Ignorance is not bliss, beloved souls. Ignorance ensures greater pain and many more problems to come. It is the sure knowledge of who and what the individual is and the purpose that humanity has been created, for that will bring the solutions to the rebalancing of the world and greater harmony to it. Understanding the very nature of a created individual and its purpose and destiny requires the individual to seek spirituality, for spirituality is that journey toward understanding our true nature. In fact, our true nature is that of the spirit, for we carry spirit and soul with us far beyond the earth plane, that this material life is meant to establish identity and personality, and will inform the future journey within the spirit world. Each individual's actions and thoughts are crucial to forming the expressions and condition of the individual. As these things are formed within the individual through a life's experience, then the true condition of that individual becomes somewhat solidified on all levels of their existence. The mind in your world is the dominant aspect of human life. Yet in truth, the mind was never meant to be the dominant part of you. It was meant to complement the spirit and the spiritual consciousness that exists within you. That in turn was meant to be complemented by the soul and the soul consciousness. Unfortunately, these things are barely understood by even those who are dedicated to a spiritual journey, to awakening themselves to all of their potentials and dimensions of existence. Yet, this awakening, this understanding of the true nature of humanity must come quickly, for the earth is growing impatient. It is fighting back and causing great havoc in your world. The forces of your earth and the divine forces and many elements continue to conspire to help rectify the imbalance that exists. Humanity is the source of that imbalance, and humanity in itself must find balance, must find its true self in order to be in alignment with what is intended for them and what is coming. There are many resources available to humanity, if they open themselves up to the possibility of spirit communication and communication with God. I have dedicated many lessons to this possibility. I continue to expand upon these lessons to help humanity to understand their true natures and their true purpose and destiny. One important step is to understand that each individual is surrounded by spirit. Through the law of attraction, those spirits reflect the true condition of the individual, for they are coming close because of this law in action. For those who continue to be ignorant of this law and ignorant of the importance of higher thought and action resulting in love and harmony, they are subjected to the whims of those spirits that surround them, that are often not of a higher nature but merely reinforce dark thoughts and inclinations. If the individual understands that they have a role to play and have a measure of power over such influence, then they are well on their way toward aspiring toward light, greater happiness and joy. But many, because of their biases and disbelief in this reality, have no idea of the influences that are present in their lives and those aspects of spirit presence that affect one's motivations, thoughts and actions. Humanity must mature beyond these limiting beliefs and understanding, utilizing the gifts that they carry and the ability that they have to see beyond their present limited perceptions and ideas. It is important that each individual takes responsibility for their thoughts and actions, for this is a crucial part of their journey and understanding their true nature. Without self-awareness, there is little that can be done to assist the individual toward something of a higher nature and a journey toward light. But when one comes to the point of understanding their true nature, or at least entertaining the idea that they are something more than just a material mind and a body, then the possibilities and opening doors to the consciousness of the individual can be available to them and given readily because of their openness to truth. Philosophers suggest that humanity makes its own reality. To a certain extent, this is a truth, that the minds of men inform their perceptions and experiences of life, and that at present, that experience of life has entailed a very limited perception and idea of life. Because of the nature of the world, there are many opportunities and experiences available to the individual that are not of this standard conception of what life is. The great advantage of the material world is that humanity has a very wide range and possibility of experiences within it. Indeed, because of the diversity of humanity and the exercise of their free will, there are many who experience life outside of this standard concept. Many of you who are reading these messages, hearing them, and absorbing them, are a part of those who have stepped beyond these limited ideas. Many of you have resolved the question of life after death. Many of you have come to know your own souls and have come to realize you are truly a possessor of a spirit body and a spirit mind. You are the ones who will teach those who are ignorant of these facts and in time, demonstrate to others the truth of these things. In times to come, we will manifest ourselves on the earthly plane through various gifted mediums, intermediaries who are in alignment with these truths and with us. God is making it possible for the proof that so many wish to see and believe through these materializations and manifestations that will come when the time is right. In the meantime, we continue to influence the world. When I say we, I mean many, many spirits and angels alike, as well as stellar friends, continue to exercise our influence and make our efforts to educate humanity. Thus, these lessons are coming to you as a result of our efforts as well as yours. This is only one small part of a great campaign to help educate humanity as to the truth of their true selves and what their potentials are. Soon the idea of communicating and connecting with spirits will be a common understanding and practice in your world. This too is a part of the shift in the consciousness of humanity toward greater truth. In these opening and flowering abilities, much upliftment and support, knowledge and truth will come and be readily accepted by many. We will not hold back in our efforts, for this is a crucial time, a crossroads for humanity. It is a time when the truth will rule over ignorance and error. Of course, humanity has the ability to reject the truth and to insist upon their free will choice and decision to be independent of this new and emerging reality. This desire for independence has existed from the beginning and is a powerful force informing the way in which humanity has existed in the world. That existence has not caused any great interference with the world that God has created, up until now. Now the forces of humanity, the reality that humanity has created, is so contrary to that of God's creation and has impinged so powerfully upon it that there is a need to shift and to change the direction of human endeavor and existence upon the material world. So, these efforts must be made. So the consciousness of man must accept its true nature and the true existence of that, which is part of the universe, that which is part of the functioning of the universe. These things will come whether humanity is desiring to explore these truths or not, for it is necessary for the knowledge to be given now, for the truth to be upheld and recognized by the consciousness of man. Developing one's spirituality is a crucial endeavor that will bring balance to humanity. The fostering of the mental machinations of humanity has gone far beyond the necessities that will assist humanity along their road of development and existence, not only in the material world, but in the spirit world. They must come to realize that their time here upon this planet is short, and that it is a powerful and wondrous gift to live upon the material world, for it informs so much of what is to come beyond this world. Humanity must come to these realizations quickly and come to readily accept these things, for this is the first step toward changing the world into something that is in greater harmony with God's laws. Humanity does not recognize its own power and the scope and depth of its being, that which God has created and given life to. Each individual must come to see and revere that gift, must come to see beyond the biases of the mind and recognize the many layers of their own existence, their own being, and how these elements interact and can be consciously manipulated and utilized for the individual's well-being and spiritual progression, until they come to that place of true perception, understanding, and acceptance. Unless they do so, they will continue to be mired within the dark conditions of human creation and reality. There is much for humanity to explore. Many doors will fling open to allow these explorations to take place. It is an exciting time, a time of upheaval, but a time of great opportunity. The adjustments must be made. The openings to truth must come as humanity continues on in its existence upon the earthly plane, such a vital part of the individual's journey of life. They will come to see their true selves. They will come to see the true reality of existence. For many, they will come to know a vital and powerful relationship with their Creator. All these things are awaiting humanity. Many, many blessings will come. Many opportunities will be laid at the feet of all who are willing and open to these blessings. May you all come to see yourselves as you truly are, awakening to all that life is, seeing beyond the veil of the material world, and understanding the wondrous complexity of God's universe. May your heart soar in love, awakening to the potentials of God's love. May your consciousness open wide, drinking in the full extent of the universe of God's creation. May you see yourselves as you truly are, something that is far beyond your limited ideas and perceptions at this time. May you find peace, beloveds, peace and joy, for this is what God intends for every child, every one of His creations. This shall come on the heels of great change. It will come with the flow of heavenly influences, divine touch, and those bright spirits who are ready to come close to humanity. Those of you in the flesh and those of you in the spirit who are mired in the human condition will have a great opportunity for recompense and to seek greater harmony within yourself and to bring greater light to the environment in which you live. This I promise you, beloved souls. God intends for all of His children to find light and harmony, truth and love. It is your destiny. May you not resist and hold back from that which is meant to be, those doors that are open to you, and may you find freedom as you walk forward. The answers to all your questions and dilemmas, the truth that might be given to each of you through your own faculties and abilities to understand, and in the ways and timing that are in harmony with who you are waiting for you. God intends for all to be liberated from the darkness. May the darkness fall away, allowing light to penetrate all of humanity in all of this world, and all that is meant to be in this world. God bless you, beloved souls. I am your brother, your teacher, your friend. I am Jesus, and I am happy to be with you today as we continue our lessons and conversations about the nature of life, the nature of truth, and the nature of humanity. May you find the blessings of God's love pouring into your souls, for as you seek this, so the answers will come more readily, and your ability to understand will grow and be awakened by love. God bless you, beloveds, and keep you in light. Until I come again, my love is with you always. God bless you.